Welcome viewers to the Saturday, June 7th edition of 284 News. I am Jacques Wooding bringing you our top stories from this week. Thank you so much for joining us. Residents in East End Tortola are disappointed in what they say is a lack of proper planning in carrying out roadworks in that area. One resident, Dean Greenaway, spoke to ZBVI about his frustration.
This month actually marks 40 years since I began addressing social issues in the BVI, during the BVI, and the BVI beacon. And the roads were among them. And to see that in 2025, we are still dealing with the same issues and worse, one would think that if you are going to close off the South Coast Road and the Ridge Road is going to become your main thoroughfare. And this isn't nothing that is just happening. There should have been a plan to ensure that the road coming up from Fort Hill till you get to Longlook is adequately manicured. There are no holes which I'd left there for months. I've seen some posts I made, people are talking about they're blowing out tires. I've seen near misses and accidents. And I think residents are really disappointed to see what is happening in this current state, which shouldn't be. I mean, what is happening from the department that is actually responsible? Don't these people drive the same roads in the cars like everybody else? We are paying for road taxes and all this, but we have to tolerate this kind of thing? No, it shouldn't be. And, I constantly get messages with people sending me things. I don't often post all of them, but people are frustrated. Someone has commented about you are doing work. There are not adequate signs telling you there's danger ahead. There are no flashing lights, things to warn you, proper signs saying roadworks ahead, caution. And this isn't happening. Someone asked, why can't certain works be done at night or when there isn't traffic? Why do we have to do something and leave it 3, 4, or even a month? 3, 4 days or even a month for it to get fixed. That shouldn't happen. And I think my posts generate a lot of feedback, which I'm glad to see, which wasn't happening in the 1980s when you were doing this. And people like me who are bold enough to stand up and say, we will be labeled all kind of things, but those that don't have the courage will benefit from what I post, because when the road are fixed, everybody benefits.
And while that is going on, over the Ridge Road, traffic to and from town via the coastal road will be disrupted from Monday, June 9th, because of upcoming sewage works in the area near the East End Police Station from the Blackburn Highway between Lil Dix Road and Narrows Road. Greenaway says this again shows a lack of proper planning.
I couldn't believe when I saw the post came out, a government post came out saying that, and I said, so much for planning. If you fail to plan, you will end up with this kind of nonsense. And it's sad that they are not, whoever's responsible are not looking at what is happening, how it's happening, and haven't developed a plan to deal with it. So who's going to be left frustrated and people late for work? Residents of this country.
Meanwhile, Representative for the 8th District, Marlon Penn, is perturbed about the situation and the lack of respect, he says, which is meted out to his constituents.
Deeply frustrated and disappointed that the ministry has opted to do what they've done to cause significant frustration to the people of that community. They had ample time while the road was inactive for almost 5 weeks to fix the issues under my nudging and my urging to fix the issues with the road from the Fort Hill, from the Hope Hill area by the church at Hope Hill, come all the way eastwards, even from Bellevue. There's some issues with the roads that is causing some concerns for persons traversing back and forth, just creating a significant inconvenience to the people of our community and a day to their lives. And it's very disrespectful what the ministry has done to the people of the Eastern Long community. And I've said it to the minister openly that we're not going to tolerate this. He has to address this issue. I see that they're intending to close the road again on the 9th of June, the area across from the police station along some area. I advise the minister to don't even try it. Do not go and touch that road unless you have a conversation with me as district representative, a conversation with the people of that community in terms of how we're going to mitigate the inconvenience and the frustration that they continue to put on the people of my community and the Eastern Long community. And we're not going to accept this anymore, Beverly, and it's really a total disrespect to our people.
Meanwhile, in a recent sitting of the House of Assembly of the Virgin Islands, Leader of the Opposition and 6th District Representative, the Honorable Myron Walwyn, questioned the Leader of Government Business, Premier Dr. the Honorable Natalia Wheatley, and Minister for Finance on how much of the $100 million loan guarantee has been used.
Question number 3. Madam Speaker, could the Premier and Minister of Finance please tell this Honourable House whether his government has already accessed the $100 million loan facility, and if it has, could he state how much of those funds have been drawn down? A. B. Could he provide a comprehensive plan in writing for the use of the entire loan facility with timelines for completion of each project? C. Could he list out the projects by district? And D. Could he state what method was used to decide which projects were priority, and with whom did he consult, if anyone, to come up with that determination? And if you could answer the questions in that order rather than in one swoop, I'll be grateful, Madam Speaker.
In response, Premier Wheatley answered yes, highlighting that the funds have been accessed. He then sought to bring clarity, while unable to answer in full detail due to some information not having been received from the Ministry of Finance.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I thank the Leader of the Opposition for his question. Madam Speaker, the answer is yes. The government has already accessed the $100 million loan facility. Madam Speaker, when the $100 million loan facility was signed on the 31st October 2024 with the Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce, a disbursement of $10 million was made to the government. Madam Speaker, a prerequisite to obtaining a loan was the development of a comprehensive plan, which included the intended infrastructure projects to be funded by the loan facility and proposed cost plan with estimated amounts and timelines for completion of each project. Madam Speaker, this is aligned with the time period for full disbursement of the loan. The plan was incorporated into the 2025 budget estimates with forward years. Madam Speaker, as a point of information, 2 projects that were identified under the loan agreement had to be removed from the plan, as they are in fact recurrent expenditures and were therefore funded in the budget through local recurrent funds. These projects include Joe's Hill Manor Housing Program and removal of derelict boats throughout the territory. The allocation of these funds will be identified at a later stage. Madam Speaker, a total of $30.02 million was originally projected to be spent in 2025. However, this was later adjusted to $29.02 with the removal of the 2 aforementioned projects and adjustment to the allocations for Elmer Stout High School redevelopment and construction of our National Detention Center. A total of $52.02 million and $13.38 million were allocated in 2026 and 2027, respectively.
Premier Wheatley then highlighted the various districts and projects, that have been earmarked, highlighting that all districts will benefit from the loan guarantee.
Madam Speaker, I should say the Ministry of Finance was not able to provide me with, at the time when these questions were to be answered, the comprehensive list of the projects with the with the timelines for completion. And I'll have to provide that subsequently, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the project list. Madam Speaker, projects earmarked to be funded by the loans by district are as follows. In District 2, the National Sewage Program in King Garden Bay. In District 4, the ESHS redevelopment and the Dr. D. Orlando Smith Hospital Improvement Plan, Ralph T. O'Neill Administration Complex, and the Road Town Improvement Plan. Madam Speaker, in District 7, funds have been allocated focused on the construction of social housing at Long Look, or the Alms House, and the National Sewage Program for both the 7th and 8th districts. Additionally, in District 8, focus will be on development projects at the Terence B. Ledsam International Airport. All districts will benefit from the projects, water network improvements, and the reconstruction and improvement of primary roads on Tortola, Virgin Gorda, and Joss Van Dyke. Madam Speaker, the project list was initially developed based on critical projects identified in the Recovery to Development Plan that had not been addressed over the years due to a lack of funding. Thereafter, finalization of the list was determined through consultation with the ministries responsible for the respective portfolios, inclusive of the responsible ministers, and in response to the needs of the public. These projects are ones that would create national impact, improve safety, and at the same time promote a thriving socio-economic environment. Madam Speaker, I acknowledge that all projects initially identified from the Recovery to Development Plan could not be accommodated, and those remain candidates for future funding considerations. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
In other news, Territorial at-Large Representative Stacey Mather believes mental health in the British Virgin Islands is an issue that can no longer afford to be ignored. Mather's comments were made on the Alliance's radio program, Pulse of the People. He also says the territory needs to broaden and fund disability services.
In addition to the physical and economic challenges, mental health is an issue we can no longer afford to ignore. Life stresses, economic hardship, disaster recovery, and social isolation have taken their toll, yet stigma and outdated laws prevent many from seeking help. We must update and amend the Mental Health Act of 2014 to invest further in early detection and treatment programs and train primary health providers to recognize and support those in need. Legislation is needed to expand mental health coverage in the National Health Insurance Plan. We should aim to have as many community health clinics with trained medical professionals, and support should be available to those facing acute stress, domestic violence, or disaster recovery. Most importantly, we must foster a culture of compassion and understanding so that no one suffers in silence. Now, I must highlight the situation of our differently able citizens and disability services. Although progress has been made in early intervention, adult day support, and autism programs, there is still a significant gap in comprehensive inclusive services. Many individuals continue to face obstacles in accessing education, employment, and full societal participation. We must broaden and adequately fund disability services, force strict accessibility standards in all public spaces, and enact laws that guarantee equal opportunities in education and the workforce. Our ultimate aim should be a territory where everyone, regardless of ability, has a chance to thrive and contribute fully. Legislation and procedures are essential, but real change requires the will to act in the best interest of the people.
And viewers, with that, we take a quick word from our sponsors. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Father Jesus, that line here long like church service.
Alright, do enjoy the rest of the day. Next customer line, please. Wait, hold on a second.
Yes, Sonny boy, come, yes,
Good
son.
morning.
Good morning, Sonny boy. Hold on there. You must have cut fun to people.
It's okay, I'll take care of it.
What? No man to take care of me.
How may I assist you?
Yes.
You want top of power?
You want top of power? Top of power.
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top up or?
Welcome back and thank you so much for staying with us. The 71st Annual Virgin Islands Emancipation Festival was officially launched last Friday, May 30th, 2025, under the theme Uniting Our Culture, Freedom, and Joy in the Virgin Islands for Festival 2025. The winning theme creator was Mrs. Brianna Henley Mather, while Mr. Jacobs Edwards came in with the winning slogan of Embrace the Past, Let Unity Thrive, as we celebrate our culture at Festival 2025. New chairman, Mrs. Natalie Penn Lake, presented the winners to the public.
And who's the winner? Mr. Jacob Edwards. Congratulations. And Natalie here is going to present you. No, come on stage.
All right, guys. So you guys were our winners for the slogan and theme for our 71st Virgin Islands Emancipation Festival 2025. And on behalf of the Virgin Islands Festival and Friends Committee, we just want to say thank you. Your entry was amazing. We loved it. I think it's synonymous to what we're trying to preach for this festival season and festival season to come. And we just want to say thank you and congratulations. You could clap, clap. Yeah.
The 2025 festival honoree was announced as Mr. Neil E. Frett. He was present and introduced himself to the public.
Here. Come on. Neil has been involved with festival for many, many years. You'll hear about his bio on the opening night, which is July 25th, and Festival Village, but we wanted you to meet him before. So Neil, how happy are you to be named this year honoree?
Surprise. It wasn't something I expected.
No, but you're happy.
Very happy.
Great. I always did give us our flowers while we're living, and we're so happy that this is happening to you too.
Thank you very much.
How long have you been involved in festival?
1974.
Wow, from 1974. So this has been wonderful, and we are so happy that you are the honoree for festival. And we'll see you on the 25th on stage when we present you with your plaque. All right, great.
In other news, Premier Dr. the Honorable Natalia Wheatley has stated that he would leave it to the regulators to decide what would become of the $5 million of the Virgin Islands money in the Bank of Asia BVI Limited, which has now gone into liquidation. The Premier was at the time responding to a question from Leader of the Opposition, Honorable Myron Walwyn, in the House of Assembly.
Madam Speaker, I'll be very careful how I answer the question, of course. In the Virgin Islands, we have a strong confidence in our regulators, the Financial Services Commission, and now the Virgin Islands Deposit Insurance Corporation. They are the ones who have the responsibility for the supervision of these financial institutions. Of course, the Accountant General has a policy, the government has a policy that the Accountant General acts on in terms of support for different banks in the territory, and the deposits are spread across all the banks in the territory. But of course, once, I was advised of the situation with the Bank of Asia, consulted, of course. I was informed of what the actions would be, but these are actions exclusive for the regulator. And it's not for me to take any action, so to speak. And they have legislation which informs what should take place when a bank becomes insolvent, Madam Speaker. And I'll leave it at that.
However, Walwyn was not satisfied with the response from the Premier.
I didn't get the full response. I just want a little clarity. Premier, if you could just answer me very quickly. Based on the Virgin Islands Insurance Deposit Corporation and the payout scales that they have, of that $5 million, how much of the people's money of that $5 million you think the government will be able to redeem based on the provisions of the bank?
Well, Honorable, that's really a third question. That doesn't seem like clarity to me.
It was tied into the first question. He didn't answer it. So I kind of just give some additional information in case he just didn't understand the question initially.
Madam Speaker, it wouldn't be responsible for me to go into that. I will allow the liquidator and the Virgin Islands Deposit Insurance to do their work. And in that process, it will be determined who will get what.
And viewers, with that, we take a quick break, but stay with us because there is more when we return.
Yo, everything good, Dad?
Aye. This thing got me one way, Daddy.
What you mean?
Ever since I hook up with this thing, I can't eat, I can't sleep. This is the first thing I touch when I reach home.
What you really? Hey, this ain't like you,
Dad, this thing got me staying home, keeping out of trouble me.
Wow. What your name is?
She? I talking about my CCT life.
Don't worry about missing your favorite series, sports, news, and local programming. Come to CCT today and sign up for CCT Live to access over 80 channels. CCT Live. Bring it home.
1 month free trial turn into 5. 5 months turn into, well, I watching ball. I been watching football. Dad, Nickelodeon, Paw Patrol. I am hooked. Hook, I tell you.
Welcome back and thank you so much for staying with us. With an above normal hurricane season expected, government and BVI disaster management officials are ramping up the territory's preparedness efforts. The public is also being called upon to make early preparations and not be caught off guard. Director at the Department of Disaster Management, Mr. Jason Penn, said that based on information from Colorado State University and NOAA, there is a 60% chance of above average precipitation this hurricane season.
Which brings us to approximately 17 named storms, 9 hurricanes, 4 major hurricanes. Although this figure is slightly down from last year, it's still expected to be a very active season, and cautions should begin or start making the necessary preparations. One of the things that I've been noticing is the sea surface temperatures, why that figure might be down a bit. Because around this time, the temperatures were a lot more warmer across the whole Eastern Atlantic Caribbean seaboard. But nevertheless, they still do expect a very active season. From that standpoint, seeing that the season is expected or predicted to be above normal, from the government standpoint, we've already went ahead and started checking our emergency shelters. That list should be coming out shortly. We should begin checking the marine shelters very soon. We also have our National Disaster Management Council meeting, which is held every year. That would be coming up soon as well this week. So you'll be hearing more about that maybe in the media circles after the meeting. We're also ramping up in other areas, and you'll hear more about those as well in terms of the various cleanups, other activities in terms of social services, social welfare. You'll be hearing more about that too as well.
Penn is urging the public to formulate their early response plans while the season is still quiet.
You should figure out what is needed, when you need it by, and what alternatives you may have. Saying things like that is now is the time to maybe check your homes, see what supplies you would need. If you have a generator, if you need one, where you can get one. If you need solar type equipment, where you can purchase them, how much you would need. Or if you need to make alternative arrangements in terms of where you would stay if something were to happen. Now is the time to start to look at these particular things and include them within your plan. And you should start now. Things are pretty quiet, but as the Saharan dust and everything else begins to settle, that as we move further into the season, there is a possibility you would see storms or systems begin to develop. So if you can make your preparations now while things are quiet, that would be the best time to do so. I should also encourage persons to continue monitoring, be attentive, look at credible sources. Again, the NOAA, National Hurricane Center, Antigua Med information from ourselves. We provide as much information as can to keep persons a lot abreast of developments and what are the next steps that they should have. So the season is about to kick off, and as I said, for the coming weeks, upcoming weeks, there'll be more information that we share with the public in terms of how they could prepare, things they could do, or other things that would be in place to maybe assist as you go further down into the season.
Okay. All right, listener.
Meanwhile, CHUNG and Dakari Wheatley-Adams have been crowned Miss and Mr. H. Lavity Stout Community College 2025 following a standout performance at the college's highly anticipated annual pageant on Sunday, June 1st. Here's a look at how things unfolded.
All the pain and the truth I wear like a battle wound. So ashamed, so confused, I was broken and bruised. Now I'm a warrior. Now I've got thicker skin. I'm a warrior. I'm stronger than I've ever been, and my honor is made of steel. You can't get in. I'm a warrior.
So tonight I'm gonna show you all. Cause when I'm walking with you, I watch the whole room change. Cause baby, that's what you do. No, my baby, don't blame it on my confidence. Don't blame it on your measurement. Shut that down on sight, shut it. We out there dripping in finesse. It don't make no sense, dripping in finesse. You know, dripping in finesse. It don't make no sense, dripping in finesse.
If you come to work but mean something more, turn you into what you never signed up for. And when another girl comes around, they start to mock you and put you down. They want to see you twist and pose. They want to see beneath your clothes. They want what they don't ask their own wife. Playing with your future, messing with your life. Before I lose myself in this insanity, or act enraged and lose my humanity, I let them keep their games and their money. I'll hold my head high with dignity.
And finally, our team recently joined the Enos Adams Primary School for its first ever Hawktrepreneur Expo. Here's how it went.
My name is Desiree Flanders Harrigan. I'm the school counselor here at Enos Adams Primary School, and we hosted our first ever Hawktrepreneur Expo, where we invited our students to take part in what it means to be an entrepreneur. a total of 12 entries. We had from baked goods to snow cones to cookies, brownies, even a healthy bar. Don't talk about fashion, because girls love fashion, and that is what we had indeed. Students came out in numbers. They patronized their fellow friends, peers, and they did an awesome job. It was indeed a success, something we are definitely looking forward to putting on bigger and better for the next time around. Parents came, teachers came, persons from the public came and supported each and every stall that was presented here today. But in all, it was a success.
And viewers, that's it for today's news roundup. Be sure to follow us for daily news updates at 284media.com. Like us on Facebook at 284media and 284BVI on Instagram and X, formerly Twitter. I'm Jacques Wooding, and I will see you again soon. So have yourself a safe and enjoyable weekend. Goodbye.